MooneyBags Takes podcast. You know we back with another spicy one. We got week 12 on the slate for us. Coming off a spicy week 11. That shit was all the injuries. The high scoring game in the game of the week, which we predicted and was also going to be the fantasy game of the week. That Chiefs Raiders game that shit was ridiculous Sunday night. And then Mahomes just ending it, rolling out in the pocket, sidearm pass to Kelsey. Ooh, and Kelsey adjusted in the end zone. You love to see it. You love to see it. So on this episode, we got the Week 11 recap. We got the hitters. We got the misses from Week 11. Props were not looking good on us this past weekend. We got the injuries from the weekend. We got the biggest waiver ads for Week 12. Need to make sure you're locked in. There's only 2 weeks left in the fantasy season before playoffs. 2 weeks left. Now, me taking an L in fantasy this week, I need everything to go my way. I'm a game back of playoffs. Now, I need to go 2-0 at the very least. And then I need other folks to lose. But am I quitting? No fucking chance. Send it. Got to be locked in picking up the waivers. So, got a spicy 5 for you. We got the early injury forecast heading into the Thanksgiving Day games. And then we got some players to monitor coming off injury. Like maybe a DeAndre Swift returning from concussion on a Thursday night game. Maybe. We got players like Chris Carson, Mostert. Will they return this week? Will they stay out another week? Let's get to it. And then, this Tuesday is a huge day for Champions League. I love betting soccer. My soccer percentages is fucking ridiculous. Especially when you add in the first goal scorers I hit. Soccer percentage fucking ridiculous. So, coming off a weekend where we just hit Lille. We just hit West Ham straight up money line. We just hit the early morning Everton versus Fulham. Hit Everton, hit the over 2.5, and hit the added market bet for over 3.5. So we're just cashing. We're just cashing. So let's get right into it. Top injury from the weekend. Now what the fuck, man? Now this is in honor of my guy. Shout out to him. Hope he has a fast recovery. If anyone could recover from an injury like this, I know it's him. So, shout out Smoking Joe Burrow. Fire one up for your ass. He just got put on IR. He tore his ACL, MCL, and he has other ligaments. He has the other ligaments damage in his knee. That shit's dicey because that's a 9 to 12 month recovery. So if you have him in a league where it's a keeper league and you took him late, that's one you're watching all through the offseason, watching his progression. That's a tough one, man. So shout out Smoking Joe. Definitely hope you recover. And definitely hope you recover quick. So you can get back out there just slanging rock. The next one. Greg Olsen, man. Retired, went to the booth, came back. Sometimes you just can't let go of the game, and I feel him. If I was in his position, I would never be able to let go. Especially if you got injured and you're kind of going out on sort of a downslope. Can't have it happen. He just injured his foot again. I'm not sure if it's the same foot as last time when he was with Carolina, but injured it. He went out immediately, got carted off, but says he wants to return. If not this year, next year, because he doesn't want to go out like that. So you see the mentality there. Jacob Hollister, he came in, 3 targets, 2 catches in his absence. Jacob Hollister, if y'all remember last year, he was definitely serviceable as a tight end, especially with all the injuries and bye weeks. This week it's clutch because there's no teams on a bye, which is definitely a surprise where you have no teams on a bye week 12, but then come week 13, you have Carolina and Tampa Bay on a bye. So definitely keep an eye on that. Some some news on the defensive side of the ball for the Bears. Eddie Jackson, he was put on the COVID list. That's dicey because Bears defense, who's already given up a decent amount of points, which more than they should, missing your star safety, that's dicey in their matchup. So keep an eye on that, and definitely watch out on the offensive side of the ball, whoever's playing the Bears. We got Dobbins and Ingram, both of them added to the COVID list. That's tough because they play Thursday night in a divisional matchup, which is huge. If the Steelers win, give them the division now. If the Ravens win, you make it close and then you take out the undefeated Steelers. That's just gonna be dope. It's probably one of them games where, oh, Ravens are missing these two people, they're gonna get washed, and all of a sudden Lamar Jackson comes out of nowhere and is like, fuck y'all, fuck the shit y'all been talking. I'm here to ball. So definitely one to look forward to Thursday night on Thanksgiving. Definitely when you're eating your Thanksgiving desserts, little pastries, little pies. I can't fucking wait. And I hope y'all have a blessed Thanksgiving, man. It's one of them times where you get together with your family. Not necessarily this year. It's more close-knit this year. But one of them times where you definitely appreciate who's around you. And you appreciate what they do on the daily basis, where you might not even think of it on the daily basis or week to week. It's just something that kind of gets done, but you got to take that time to really look at what that person means in your life, you know what I mean? So when you're sitting at the dinner table, just make sure you look around, and those are them folks that been with you, and from me to y'all, they gonna be with you. So hope y'all have a blessed Thanksgiving, and let's get back to these injuries. Titans on the defensive side of the ball. They lost Jayon Brown, one of their star linebackers, to injury. That's dicey because Titans already just gave up 34. How do you give up 34 to the Colts? So it's one of them games where if you have the players in the offensive side versus the Titans, definitely play them. Because losing Jayon Brown, that's big for the Titans defense. And the next one to monitor a player where you already know to monitor them. Every week they're injured. So Julio Jones, he picked up a hamstring injury early on in last week's game. Returned in the fourth quarter for no fucking reason. And then went out right after the play he returned. So that's one to monitor this week. He's definitely going to be a game time decision. So that's one where if he's out, Russell Gage, Zacchaeus, both going to be eaten. And especially they play Las Vegas Raiders this week, and you see what Mahomes did against them. So one of them games where Vegas Raiders, Atlanta Falcons could be one of the fantasy games of the week this week. So keep locked in on that one. And the Falcons are 3-8. They probably won't play Julio. So definitely trend him down. Act like he's not going to be in your lineup. And then when he is, if he is, it's a good surprise. On the Patriots, this is one where I was all over picking him up off the waiver wire the past few weeks. And it sucks. He went down with such a nasty injury, man. Rex Burkhead, he was running the ball to the left, got a pitch, and then someone came down, went to take out his ankle, and his foot just stuck in the turf, man. His helmet hit his knee, and whew, that shit looked bad. So prayers out to him. All these injuries and shit over the weekend, all this COVID. It's dicey out here, man. It's dicey. So the next one, Juju Smith-Schuster. He has a toe injury. Just missed practice on Monday. But that's most likely because they play Thursday night, and which should be a huge game. They're saying he would have returned, which is positive news for him if they weren't blowing out Jacksonville. But that's one to monitor. Say it trends down. Say he does get in a quick practice and he re-injures it or anything like that. Definitely monitor it, but he's trending up. Cobb, he got hurt. His toe injury is what sounds to be significant. And on that same side of the ball, you had Kenny Stills, who got hurt again, which he's not fantasy relevant, but That opens up targets for Will Fuller, opens up targets for Kiki Kute if you need a wide receiver. So definitely one to monitor. And then Adam Thielen, he just got put on the COVID list. That's dicey because he plays Sunday, so it's possible he's cleared in time. But that's definitely one to monitor because if Thielen's out, you're going to have Justin Jefferson out there. Irv Smith is probably a plus. And then Carolina's defense, they'll probably get faded into the top 15 maybe. If they could stop Dalvin Cook, they'll have another top performance. That was my defensive ad of the week last week, especially when the Lions going on the road and they don't have a running game and they don't have their top wideout. It's dicey. So definitely want to keep an eye on in Minnesota with Adam Thielen on the vid list. And then one little news and note, Tua benched last week. That was dicey. Went on the road. One of them games where I picked Miami straight up. Took a L. That shit sucked because I thought it's Tua time, right? But nope, it's brick. It is brick out here. Tua traveled to Denver and he's seen what that altitude was about. So Thursday, definitely monitor DeAndre Swift. Definitely monitor Kenny Galladay. Definitely monitor Danny Amendola. See if they're going to be in there. If they're not, make sure you're on your waiver wire looking at other matchups like Gage, Zacchaeus. So, it's dicey out here, man. It is dicey. And this week, based off injuries, which it sucks because that's how the game goes, but based off injuries, it presents top waiver pickups. First one on the board, James White, which he was droppable. He's owned in 40% of leagues because he's been dropped so much. Burkhead just got hurt, so that was that running, that was that passing down back. If Burkhead misses a lot of time, which unfortunately looks like he is gonna, Michelle's just gonna come back. He might get that backup running back role. James White has now solidified himself as the pass catching back again. He had 6 catches on 9 targets last week, and he has plus matchups the rest of the year. This is why this is the number 1 waiver pickup of the week. He's probably available in your league just because he's been dropped so often lately. Go pick up James White. First matchup this week, Arizona. Next week, LA Chargers and Hubert. Week after that, versus the Rams, they're going to have to put up points. And then you play Miami, which you're going to have to put up points in a divisional matchup. And then you end it with Buffalo week 16 in the championship game. What could be? That looks good. Pick up James White, number 1 waiver pickup of the week. Gus Edwards, oh man, the fact that he is even a top waiver pickup is just what this season has been all about, right? Mixing, matching when you got to deal with the COVID-19. Now that Dobbins and Ingram are highly questionable for Sunday night, Gus Edwards is now a top waiver pickup. Last time versus Pittsburgh in their last matchup, he had 16 rushes, 87 yards, and a touchdown, which was a close game and Pittsburgh pulled it off. But if they could keep it close this game, which the Ravens defense definitely could, especially if they have Calais Campbell and Brandon Williams return, Gus Edwards could be a top running back. But that's only for this week. That's why he's ranked number 2, because it would probably be a one and done. That's dependent if Dobbins does come back. If he misses another week, Gus Edwards is good for another week, especially over Ingram, who's trending way down. And if you have Ingram on your roster, please drop him. That's the worst possible situation. The next waiver pickup we got, Nelson Aguilar. This is kind of a boom or bust wide receiver because he booms so much when he has the ill performance. He's still in the top 30 of wide receivers. So at 19% owned in Yahoo leagues versus Atlanta and the Jets in the next 2 weeks. Go pick them up, man. You know you're going to have a lot of wide receivers on bye week, week 13, with Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, maybe even Samuel. And then you got Tampa Bay. They got Godwin. They got Antonio Brown. They got Mike Evans. So you're going to need a wide receiver. If not this week, definitely next week. So go pick up Nelson Aguilar. Good start this week and next. And then ending the waiver pickups with the top defenses. I did my due diligence. I went out there Sunday. Unfortunately, I seen Joe Burrow get hurt, right? Chopped it up with my dogs about it. It's crazy that Smoking Joe got hurt. But first thing I thought, because I'm fully invested in the fantasy, Giants, are they available? That's what y'all should be thinking. So I went to my waiver wire. Of course the Giants were available, and especially because they were on a bye week. Went, picked them up in 2 of my leagues. Now this week, they're the top waiver pickup. And I grabbed them before they were even available, before the week was even over, before the Monday night game even happened, before the Sunday night game even happened. So, top waiver pickup of the week, y'all would see the most ads, New York Giants defense versus Cincy. I'm starting them in 2 of my leagues. Make sure you pick them up. And then my next big waiver ad on defense, Seattle. They are only 27% owned. They're facing Philly this week, and then the next 3 matchups after that, Giants, Jets, and Washington. If it wasn't for the Giants and I needed to win this week, I would definitely go pick up Seattle because they might give up yards to maybe Miles Sanders. He fucking blew my prop bet last week, but Miles Sanders would probably have a good game. So I don't know about them this week. They should be serviceable. Probably give up no more than 14 points, especially at home. But the next 3 weeks versus the Giants, Jets, and Washington, scoop them. Seattle would definitely be the top waiver ad on defense those next 3 weeks, and they are only 27% owned in Yahoo leagues. So make sure you go scoop them. Scoopsies. Let's get to the sauce. The hot takes. The big games of the day. I'm talking Champions League. I'm talking we got Champions League bets coming in hot. The first bet we got Chelsea at Rennes. Now Chelsea's getting back Thiago Silva and Kai Havertz. That's fire. Having Kai Havertz in the middle and getting Thiago Silva back on defense, that should solidify their win. Over under on that game is 2.5, which that's crazy for me. Chelsea won 3-0 last game. They're away, but in their last away game in the Champions League, they won 4-0. So even with Rennes getting Camavinga back last game, on that one, I'll take Chelsea. I'll take the over 2.5. Add them into the parlay. The next one we got Dortmund versus Club Brugge. Last game, in their last matchup, Dortmund won 3-0 away. So if Dortmund could go on the road and win 3-0, coming off a game where they just put up 5 goals, coming off a game where Haaland just put up 4 goals himself, that boy is a beast. The fact that he's 19, 20 years old is fucking crazy. That Norwegian, man, he's a dog. He's a dog out there. Give him that. So on that game, especially with Club Brugge, Emmanuel Dennis, their winger, he's out, and that's because the coach benched him because someone sat in a seat on the bus, and he told him to get out. They wouldn't get out. It was his favorite seat, so he walked off the bus, stormed off the bus. That's childish shit. This is a perfect opportunity for that coach, and I praise that coach for teaching this man a lesson. Oh, you're going to do this? You are not above the team. You are a top 3, top 5 player on the team, but definitely not above the team. so you will miss the Champions League match. And I praise the coach for that. So over-under on that game is 2.5. It'll probably move to 3.5 because those odds are at minus 170. But take Dortmund. Take the over-under. If it's at 2.5, take it. If it's at 3.5, it all depends who Dortmund starts, because they could even start a lot of young players. So make sure you're tuned in and you're checking lineups before you put in your bets. The next one we got, Juventus versus Ferencváros. Over-under is 3.5 on that game. That's at minus 115. And Juventus is minus 1,000, so that's not even worth adding to the parlay. Juventus won 4-1 in their last matchup. They're coming off a 2-zip win versus Calgary, or Cagliari. And it's one of them games where should be a wash. They won 4-1 their last matchup. The over-under is at 3.5. Ferencváros gives up, they just gave up 3 goals last game. And that was in their league play. So if they're giving up that in league play, what do you think Juventus is going to do to them? It's just one of them games where you have to make sure Ronaldo plays. If Ronaldo doesn't play, or if he doesn't start, stay away from that game completely. The next one, spicy as fuck. Man United versus Istanbul Başakşehir. I did my best. Man United is minus 400, which is a game where they're going to rotate their lineup. They're coming off a 1-zip win versus West Brom. That's not that good. That's not the performances you need. But it's also on the coach for starting. How do you start Mata and Matic? The fuck? You have Pogba on the bench. You have Cavani on the bench. You have Donny van de Beek on the bench. What are you doing? You have Mason Greenwood on the bench. It's wild. So, last game in their last matchup, Istanbul won 2-1. It's one of them games where if Man United, if they could get on the board early, they'll probably win. They'll probably put up at least 5 goals, because Istanbul, they give up goals because they're one of them teams with Visca. They're just back and forth. And it's one of them games where Man United will rotate their lineup. So they'll have Pogba in there, maybe Mason Greenwood, and Cavani will definitely get a Champions League start. So that's a game where I'm staying away from Man United minus 400, but I'm slamming the over. The over-under on that is 3.5, and those odds are at plus 130, so that's a good look right there. And the last one, this game is a lock. If you don't trust any of my other bets, this is the one. PSG versus RB Leipzig. It's one of them games where PSG on the road, without Mbappe, without Neymar, without Icardi, they lost 2-1 to Leipzig. Now, you get Neymar back. He made his first appearance off the bench last game. You get Mbappe, who's in top form. Icardi will probably make the bench this game. Over-under on that game is 3.5. Those odds are at plus 105. You might see that shift to minus 115 by kickoff. So it's one of them where definitely slam the over 3.5. PSG's just coming off a game where they gave up 3 goals to Monaco. Now, PSG, they play at such a high pace, back and forth game where they're going to give up a goal, maybe even 2. But to give up 3 to Monaco, that's ridiculous. So they did end up scoring 2 in that game. So they put up 5 goals combined. So the over 3.5 in this game versus a team in RB Leipzig, which is on fire in the German Bundesliga, definitely slam the over. It's one of them games where PSG, they're minus 163. It looks good to add to the parlay, but I just wouldn't do it. And my full parlay, take the over 3.5 in PSG game versus RB Leipzig. Take the over 3.5 in Man United. Take the over 3.5 with Juventus, but make sure Ronaldo plays. Right now, the over-under is 2.5 on that Dortmund game. But if it finishes at 3.5, you gotta make sure Haaland plays. You gotta make sure the top players, Sancho, are in there. Because if they aren't starting, be careful. And if they aren't starting, definitely take away the Dortmund pick. Chelsea, the over 2.5, and Chelsea to win. Lock it the fuck in. That's the 17 killer for you. We out. We gotta get to fucking work. We in here grinding. I hope y'all tuning in. I hope y'all locking in. And I hope y'all cashing out. Because over at the High Stakes Takes podcast, all we do is sauce. I'm out.